Welcome to the deep dive. Um, Today, our mission is to explore how the global economy is, well, being completely rewired from the ground up.
Yeah, and doing
Yep.
it without a single dollar changing hands, which is wild.
Right, exactly. So we are pulling all our insights for this journey from an incredibly detailed source text today. It's called Swap Shop, the Global Barter and Skill Trade Revolution.
It's a fascinating read, really gets into the weeds of how this stuff actually
It
works.
really does. So I want you, the listener, to just imagine a world for a second where your weekend painting skills can literally buy you a custom software package, or, where that old rusty bicycle that's just taking up space in your garage. That is your direct ticket to getting a fresh set of solid wood doors hung in your house.
And no cash is exchanged at all.
None. Zero cash.
Mm.
And no intrusive pop-up ads tracking your every click either. We're looking at a modern, high-tech reimagining of ancient chartering, and it is fundamentally redefining commerce and community in 2026.
It's a total paradigm shift.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this, because to understand the massive global implications of a cashless ecosystem, we really have to start by looking at how the mechanics actually work, like right in your own neighborhood.
Yeah, you have to start local. The creators of Swap Shop, they understood a pretty fundamental rule of behavioral economics, which is you cannot introduce a radical new paradigm on a global scale on day one.
Right, it's just too much too fast.
Exactly. You have to build the habit locally first. So the source material outlines how the platform handles physical goods first. They establish what they call your block's own little shop.
Which is a very specific limit, right?
Yeah, the system enforces a strict hyper-local buy and sell radius of exactly 25 miles.
Which is just a fascinating constraint to me. I mean, in an era where I can order, a cheap plastic phone case from across the planet,
And have it there tomorrow.
right, and have it airdropped to my porch
Yeah.
in 2 days. So artificially limiting a marketplace to a 25-mile radius seems entirely counterintuitive.
It does seem backward, but it forces density. It creates this neighborhood-only feel. You aren't shipping a lamp across the country. You're trading it with someone who realistically shops at the same grocery store as you.
Oh, that makes sense. It builds familiarity.
Right. And the algorithm uses that geographic choke point to foster intense community trust. Every single trade requires a mandatory trust rating submission to keep your profile active.
And our source also highlights how the platform, like, gamifies this local constraint, right? Through these eco badges.
Yeah, the ego badges are huge.
They actively reward green swaps.
Mm.
So you earn specific badges for behaviors like trading a recycled bike or completing a zero-waste haul.
Mm-hmm. It leverages our psychological desire for digital status.
Exactly. It drives environmentally conscious behavior in the physical world by giving you digital clout.
And we actually see that digital to physical bridge manifest in what the source calls real-world buzz.
The pop-up meetups.
Right. The platform algorithms automatically facilitate these pop-up block meetups under string lights, when trade volume in a specific zip code hits critical mass.
So it's actively pushing users away from their screens.
Yeah, into a local park or a community center to execute their swaps in person.
But, I mean, if you are busy or you simply don't want to mingle under the string lights with your neighbors,
Which, let's be honest, is a lot of people.
totally. The platform does offer an optional delivery feature, though the system penalizes that convenience, right? It takes a 5% cut.
It clearly wants you to do the legwork yourself.
It does.
Okay.
See, I have a major problem with the platform's underlying business model here. The source material explicitly states there are 0 ads.
Yep. 0.
They use the phrase quiet money. But in the modern digital age, I mean, a marketplace without ads usually means a marketplace without revenue.
Generally, yeah.
So how are they keeping the servers running and funding these complex algorithms if they aren't, selling our data to advertisers?
Well, they survive through a premium tier, and it costs $220 a year. That upfront fee is really the engine of the entire ecosystem.
Wait, you are telling me people will pay $220 upfront just for the privilege of giving away their old stuff for free?
I know, it sounds
That goes against everything we know about consumer behavior. If I want to get rid of an old lamp, I put it on the curb. I don't pay a subscription fee.
But look at what that fee actually buys you. It includes priority listings, verified badges, unlimited posts, and more importantly, it acts as a massive psychological filter.
How so?
Well, a $220 paywall instantly eliminates bots, scammers, bad faith actors. They just aren't going to pay it.
Oh, so it's a barrier to entry for the junk.
Exactly. You are buying your way out of the attention economy. That is
Yeah.
the core philosophy of quiet money. It prioritizes a safer, greener, and actually fun environment over that cluttered, stressful, ad-heavy experience we are all so used to.
So the fee is essentially a behavioral tax. It guarantees everyone else on the platform is actually taking it seriously.
Yeah, it creates a walled garden.
Okay, so once that physical trust is established, like once you successfully trade a recycled bike for a lamp without getting scammed, the platform has primed you for the real disruption.
Right. The leap from trading physical objects to trading human potential.
And the source material refers to this transition as trading cabbages for potatoes, pro level, which I love.
It's a great phrase.
Because it is one thing to swap a physical object that is just gathering dust in the garage,
Yeah.
but it is an entirely different economic puzzle when we move to swapping human time and talent. Here's where it gets really interesting, because time is a finite resource.
It is. And the platform solves this by reducing human labor to a universal metric, which is the hour.
Just the hour.
Yep. You swipe through skills, you match hours, and you trade straight. The source provides this perfect everyday example. A decorator offers 5 hours of painting your bedroom. And in exchange, you spend 5 hours hanging doors at their place. It's a straight one-to-one time exchange.
But, okay, let us inject some reality into this scenario for a second.
Sure.
If I am inviting a total stranger over to my house to paint my bedroom, and we are doing this entirely without cash, how on earth do we establish leverage?
You mean if things go wrong?
Right. In a traditional economy, if a contractor does a terrible job or just ghosts me, I have financial recourse. I withhold the final payment. Or I initiate a chargeback on my credit card. Without money acting as an escrow, how does this not instantly devolve into chaos the second someone does a shoddy paint job?
Well, that is the classic vulnerability of the barter system, right? And SwapShop solves it by replacing the traditional corporate middleman with a technological layer. They call it Video Verify.
Video Verify.
Yeah. So before any tools are picked up, you initiate a quick video call directly through the app. You physically show the other person the room that needs painting.
Oh, so they see exactly what they're getting into.
Right. And the decorator demonstrates their capability. They show their portfolio, the specific tools they are bringing, the paint brand, all on video.
And the platform logs a timestamp of this agreement, right? Acting as this immutable digital handshake.
Exactly.
But a timestamp alone doesn't fix a bad paint job.
No, it doesn't. But the enforcement mechanism here isn't financial, it's reputational and access-based.
Because of the fee.
Yes. Because every user has paid that $220 premium to enter this high-trust walled garden, their profile is a valuable asset.
Ah, I see.
If that decorator does a terrible job, your dispute backed by that Video Verify timestamp, it tanks their public trust rating.
And if their rating drops too low?
If it drops below a certain threshold, the algorithm just locks them out of the network. They lose access to the local economy, and they completely burn their premium investment.
Wow. So the system forces mutual wins. It really does.
Yeah.
And once you digitize a skill, lock it behind Video Verify, and secure it with that reputational leverage, you are suddenly untethered from geography.
That's the crazy part.
Right. I don't need the person building my website to live within 25 miles of my house.
No, the physical constraints that applied to that recycled bike just vanish. The source notes that for talent and skills, the radius dynamically expands.
So it's not 25 miles anymore.
Right. It can jump to a 50-mile radius for regional work, or it scales to a totally boundless global exchange for digital services.
And the source gives a wild cross-border example of this. We have a legal expert sitting in the UK trading 8 hours of highly specialized, non-disclosure agreement work. And they are trading that directly with an app developer over in the US who is spending 8 hours building them a custom dashboard.
And the platform automatically accommodates flex time zones to make that asynchronous work seamless.
So the value is the same.
The core value exchange remains identical. It's 8 hours of elite legal brainpower for 8 hours of elite coding brainpower.
But, you know, if you are listening to this on your commute right now, you are probably thinking, there is absolutely no way the IRS just lets me trade a $5,000 software build for corporate legal work without demanding their cut.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right. You would be right to be skeptical. Because even in a futuristic zero-cash ecosystem, the taxman always cometh.
They do. The collision of ancient bartering tech with traditional modern bureaucracy is completely unavoidable here.
So how does the platform handle it?
Well, the source material is very clear on this point. Each user remains entirely responsible for reporting their own tax.
Oh, they push it onto the user.
Right. Massive revenue agencies like HMRC in the UK and the IRS in the US, they do not view a zero cash trade as a zero value trade.
Because it's a real service.
Exactly. They mandate that users track and report the fair market value of these trades as taxable income.
Wait, think about the implications of that for a second.
What's fascinating here is,
Well, if HMRC requires a UK lawyer to report the fair market value of an app developer's time, they're essentially creating a shadow currency exchange rate.
yes.
They're officially pegging an hour of coding to the dollar or the pound.
Right.
The government is being forced to acknowledge that human hours, verified through this platform, are a recognizable fiat equivalent.
What's fascinating here is that you are watching the old world's rules try to map onto the new world's behavior.
It's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly. The government demands its cut because a custom dashboard and a bulletproof NDA have immense undeniable worth in the real economy.
Even without money.
Right. The platform forces massive government institutions to adapt to a cashless reality simply because the volume of wealth being generated without currency is just too large to ignore.
And this creates an incredibly logical, if unintended, chain reaction.
How so?
Well, when individual freelancers and just neighborhood folks realize they're generating thousands of dollars of taxable value in their living rooms without spending a dime.
Oh, the companies?
Right. Cash-strapped companies facing tight margins are naturally going to look at that exact same network to preserve their own financial runway.
Yeah, the scaling up is inevitable. The source calls this the business angle. It introduces the dedicated business swap tab.
So it's for whole companies now.
Yeah, it takes that one-to-one time exchange and applies it to entire corporate rosters.
And the mechanics outlined in the text are beautifully straightforward. Companies list their operational needs against their excess capacity.
Right.
The specific example provided is a company posting, need 10 hours of marketing, and matching that against can give 10 hours of operations support.
So a firm that currently has some downtime for their administrative staff actually loans out their secretary for administrative tasks to another company.
And in return?
In return, they borrow that other company's creative muscle to execute some high-level branding work,
But how do they verify that at a corporate level?
just like the individual layer. These B2B business-to-business deals are sealed live over video calls to establish the scope and verify capability.
And SwapShop monetizes this, obviously.
Of course, they introduce a premium B2B tier at $350 a year. That grants businesses verified corporate profiles and priority algorithm matching.
So my immediate thought as a business owner is just the sheer terror of liability.
Oh, sure.
If I loan my employee to another company's warehouse and they get hurt, or if I borrow a developer and they accidentally leak my customer data, I mean, the legal red tape seems like it would instantly kill the concept.
You'd think so, but the platform circumvents the traditional employment quagmire by framing these trades strictly as capacity exchanges.
Not employment transfer.
Exactly, not employment.
Right.
The $350 B2B tier includes standardized platform-wide indemnity agreements and boilerplate NDAs.
Which they signed during the video call.
Right, users sign them digitally during that video verify phase. You aren't hiring their employee, you are bartering for a specific siloed deliverable provided by their corporate entity.
It is exactly like AWS or cloud computing, but for human capital.
That's a great way to put it.
Because a physical computer server doesn't just sit idle. If one company isn't using its maximum processing power, that excess compute is instantly and dynamically routed to someone else on the network who needs it. SwapShop is turning unused human labor into dynamically routed compute power.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, what we are witnessing is a profound shift toward valuing networks over invoices.
It works over invoices. I like that.
Think about traditional corporate cash flow. If a company needs a branding overhaul, they typically drain their cash reserves to pay an external agency.
Right.
With the Business Swap tab, they preserve their cash entirely.
They transform unused employee hours, which usually function as a sunk cost, a guaranteed drain on the monthly payroll, into a highly liquid corporate asset.
Time becomes a liquid commodity.
Wow.
If your graphic designer finishes their weekly deliverables by Thursday at noon, you don't just have them sit around browsing the internet until Friday at 5.
You trade them.
Yes. You push those remaining 12 hours onto the Business Swap tab and trade them for something your company actually needs to grow. like bookkeeping audits or server maintenance.
So you extend your financial runway while extracting maximum utility from your payroll.
Exactly.
It upends how a CFO looks at a balance sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, you are no longer just measuring the fiat cash in the bank. You are suddenly forced to measure the tradable liquid potential of your workforce's skills.
And you are executing these macro-level trades without a recruitment agency or consulting firm skimming a 20% commission off the top.
It is direct, hyper-efficient trading at a corporate scale. It entirely bypasses the traditional financial friction that usually slows down growth.
That really is incredible.
It really is a massive conceptual journey. I mean, we started this deep dive looking at a platform that helps you swap cabbages for potatoes.
Literally.
We looked at the mechanics of trading an old bike for a zero-waste haul under neighborhood string lights, artificially constrained by a 25-mile radius and enforced by ego badges in public trust ratings.
And then we followed that behavioral conditioning into an international pro-level skill economy.
And we watched a decorator paint a bedroom for a carpenter, unraveling how Video Verify enforces accountability without cash.
We scaled up to global legal experts generating shadow currency exchange rates for the IRS.
And finally arrived at entire corporations dynamically routing their employees' idle time like cloud computing infrastructure.
Quite the progression.
It is. And all of this operates on the foundational philosophy of quiet money, escaping the ad-heavy, data-mining digital world by paying a yearly premium to simply let the intrinsic value of human time speak for itself.
Beautifully said.
We are looking at a world where Verify hours truly are the new dominant currency. Which brings me directly back to you, our listener. As you're sitting there right now, I want you to mentally audit your own skill set. Look beyond your job title. What do you actually know how to do with your hands or with your mind? And what could that specific capability realistically buy you in a zero-cash ecosystem?
It's a tough question.
If your bank account suddenly vanished tomorrow, how wealthy are you in tradable, verifiable skills?
That audit is really the ultimate takeaway here. And I will leave you with one final thought to mull over that pushes beyond the mechanics we've discussed today.
Go for it.
If we are rapidly moving toward a societal model where our primary currency becomes our literal time and our specific verifiable talents, rather than the money we inherited or the cash we've accumulated, how might this cashless economy completely dismantle and rebuild our social hierarchies?
Oh, wow.
Right. If the person who can flawlessly hang a set of doors is suddenly holding a currency as valid, respected, and liquid as the person who can draft a corporate NDA, it changes absolutely everything about what we value most when choosing our education, defining our status, and planning our personal development paths.